Hey everybody. Oh God. Hmm. Well, you ever like not talk for like 10 minutes and then you try to talk again and there's just a lot of phlegm in your throat? That's what just happened there. Hey, it's on the Anvil. More or less is going to be a pretty short version of it today. We've got a lot going on, which is largely what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Uh, we were planning on doing a full thing. Wound up having too many things we got to get done for tomorrow. So Nate's a little preoccupied and he wasn't able to jump on, but I was like, I still want to get on here and answer some questions, tell you what's going on. It's been like a month and a half. So, thought it would be good to at least do that. So it's going to be a very small kind of pocket edition. Um, and we're just gonna talk about some stuff. Uh, it's basically the whole thing's gonna be news. What are you doing? What's up? Yeah, you can't show up with it. You can't show up within the first minute of the stream. All right. All right. All right. Bye. Pacifico? No. This is uh yerba mate. I know very little about this drink. I just know this is what the company buys, so I can drink it for free. Giveaway. Oh yeah, I can still run a giveaway. I'll run a giveaway. I'm probably not going to be here for an hour. I want to be out of here in like 30 minutes. So I'll run something probably around 7:20. Let's say that. How many Jeffrey Lewis shirts do you have? Just this one. The last stream you watched would have been a month and a half ago, so it has been washed since then. But yeah, no, this is my one Jeffrey Lewis shirt. I got it at a concert I went to last year. Um, to recap slash trailer for new season of OTA. Have I missed any questions? It's any serious questions. Spent the last month working on that fancy overlay. This has been done for actually Letitia actually got these done recently. Yeah, Letitia got whole new overlays. Um, I got pretty sick at Gen Con, which is part of it. So okay, so I guess let's start off with that. Um, so leading up to Gen Con, we were super busy with Gen Con, so we missed a couple weeks leading into that where we were literally just cramming everything in. Then Gen Con happened, and that the week of Gen Con we were in Indianapolis, and then the weekend after it was like 2 days after we'd gotten back, so we took that off. Then I got something there, and I was very sick for a bit, and then Nate was out of town last week. Just a whole lot of events in a row that made it so these streams weren't happening. Um, it's also looking like Nate is probably going to be uh, similarly busy to what he is this week uh, for the foreseeable future for the next like month or so. So I'm thinking about a bunch of things we could do to kind of still put the show on, still have things here. I may not have this room on some Wednesday nights as we're getting ready for Dungeons Reforged. So uh, I'm currently thinking about what content we can do to still have some stuff going on, still keep people in the loop. So uh, the next September might be a number of streams that are different from the usual, but I am making it kind of my thing for the rest of this week to figure out what that looks like and how we can do things. Now, uh, I guess I might as well run this. This is essentially so the entirety of the stream is just going to be a new stream. So let's go ahead and just run this. It's the news. I didn't want to shout. This mic is way too close to me. Let's see. So I wanted to highlight 3 different crowdfunding projects we have going on. Some of our friends they've been doing it for a bit. One reason I wanted to come up was that I was a little worried about not getting the word out about some of these. We always like to try and highlight our friends in the space. First off, Eldritch Foundry has a actually, you know what? Let's do this in order of like launching. Sly Flourish has had a campaign up for a bit. Sly Flourish, Mike Shea, builds with our stuff all the time. Phenomenal dungeon master. Just full of a lot of good ideas. I know a lot of you that watch this show have used his stuff before. Very smart. Understands terrain. Understands the game extremely well. He's got another campaign going. It's a city source book. Looks very useful if you're running urban campaigns. I feel like a lot of people have been running urban campaigns lately. And hey, you know what? You know who's got some urban terrain coming out soon? We do. Type in his name. I'm trying to remember like what to put. Sly Flourish. It's called the City of Arches. Campaign is going right now. It's got like a little over a week left. It's doing very well. Dude has delivered on so many projects by this point. very high quality books. We have like every one of his books in this office. I use them every now and then. Uh, very good stuff. Very reliable. Will deliver. If this project looks interesting to you at all, full endorsement in terms of following through on stuff. So check that stuff out. Um, Now Eldritch Foundry also has a project on Kickstarter that they're launching very soon. They uh, do custom minis. You know, you can go in, you can design your PCs. Usually, you use it for PCs. They're doing pre-colored, pre-painted minis very soon. They're doing a campaign to launch that. So hey, if you want to get your party of miniatures and not have to paint them yourself, uh, they're launching that soon. Another reason to bring up Eldritch Foundry too, if you back Starforged, we had a little code uh, there for Starforge backers that gives you kind of a deal on getting Eldritch Foundry stuff. They're good friends of ours. We hang out with them every convention. When do we get the Eldritch Foundry codes? They're already there. There was an update. There was an update with them. They are already active. So you can be using the Eldritch Foundry codes. Maybe I'll mention that in the next Starforge update and just make that clear. People might have missed it. You never saw the code? Okay, it was in I think 2 updates ago. I will bring it up. But it is active. You could be using it. It's a pretty good deal. So check that out. They have I like their models a lot. We use both Eldritch Foundry and Hero Forge based on what there is, just because they have like slightly different aesthetic and all that. But I like Eldritch Foundry a lot. They're great people. Let's see. One more campaign. This is actually I saw them just join the stream a bit ago. If you're looking for a modular gaming table, there is another option kind of hitting GameFound soon. And this is from somebody who has been a customer, kind of in our ecosystem for a bit. Actually talked to them at PAX Unplugged, I think it was. It might have been last Gen Con. One of the conventions. They're making a table. They've been working on it for a while. They talked to us about it then. And it looks like a good table. I don't have room to have one because I have a New York apartment. It was PAX Unplugged. Excellent. You should check that out if you are interested in a gaming table. Nice thing here is stretch pay, right? GameFound lets you do stretch pay, which I think when you're talking about get a large purchase like a modular gaming table, I feel like stretch pay would be a very good option for that. So I would check that. I would check that. Let's see. Update 29 on Starforge to be backed. Yes. Okay. Update 29 has the Eldritch Foundry code. I'll send an email to all the Starforge backers at another point, just making sure people really understand it. The game table is reasonably priced. I'm not super knowledgeable on game table pricing. Again, I've never looked. I do not have the space to have that kind of furniture, but everything about it seems nice, and I just wanted to bring people's attention to that. That is all of the project shoutouts we wanted to do today. Let's see. Let's get into Dwarven Forge news. Restocks. So the next restock is going to be happening on Wednesday, the Wednesday after this at noon. This is the one with the magnetized sewers in it. That is the big deal. It's both the monster sewer set. We are still keeping that composition and everything. Just now it's got magnets on it, which thank God, because the sewers in particular were a very difficult set to not have magnets on. A lot of them have like 1x1, like tall walls and corners. And those things do not like to stay up without a magnet. Now they're magnetized. So it works way better. It's exactly the same pieces that you're used to. And on top of the Monster Sewer set, we also, Tyler went through and he made a bunch of new compositions. He actually went through, I think it's 5 or 6 in total now. And they are reasonable packs where it's like, hey, do you want to get just like those small 1x1 corner walls and stuff? It's like there's a pack that's just focused on those. There's a pack that's just focused on the floors. A pack just focused on the straight sluices in case you want to do long runs. A pack that's just on the intersections, all that sort of thing. He made a couple. He made a couple there so that if you do have a sewer collection and you don't need a full monster sewer, it is now easier to actually just get the kinds of pieces that you want. Uh, so that's nice. Kind of just took out that entire system in one go. The factory just approached us because we were reordering the sewers, and they were like, "Do you want us to magnetize these?" I don't know why they thought of it, but we had talked about how we want to magnetize them in the future someday, anyways. And when they just asked us, it was like, "Sure, let's do it." If we're going to magnetize it and remake the molds, we might as well make new compositions at the same time. Tyler went through and did that in like an hour. Uh, and yeah, now we've got, I think, a much stronger sewer offering. And I'm really excited to be able to like make bundles with it and such. It's much easier to get people started on it now, now that it's got magnets and now that it has compositions that are easier to work with. Outside of that, we've put through an order for our next restock. We're currently estimating that the next restock after this one is going to be in February. This is because the factory is finishing up Lowtown production, and then after that, they're going like right into Starforge production. So because of that, we're not really diverting them into like restock stuff for a bit. But we wanted to get this in because we want to try and keep their docket as full as possible. The restock coming in February, you can see some of it using the filters on the site, but the collection isn't like fully together yet, so there's some stuff that's missing. The large batter bases for towers are coming in that one. What else are we doing? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. The big thing, the big thing to keep in mind there, the mother of all mushrooms, that huge mushroom from the Mushroom Grotto encounter in Cavern Steep, is getting its own pack. So that is on the way. It currently doesn't exist on the site because we need to make a listing for it and all that because it's a new pack. But that guy is finally coming, going to be here, we think, in February. Might slide up, might slide back. It's more likely to slide up than slide back, I think. But we're trying to estimate conservatively. Did you know someone in the factory want to magnetize sewers? I'm not convinced, or I'm suspicious that there are people in the factory who actually play with this stuff, and they probably just realized what a pain the sewers are without magnets. With the UV LEDs, that's a phenomenal question. That's something I should follow up with. I would love that. There's more stuff in that restock too. I'm failing to remember. We'll have the collection up as soon as we could. Let's see. Is there a rat? Yes, the monster sewer still has everything that was in it before, and I think the rat was in the monster sewer, so it should still be there. There's no magnets in the rat though. Any update on the shipping of Colt? We're gonna have an update out tomorrow that will talk about it. I don't want to say anything because I'm not directly involved in those meetings directly, so I don't know if things. I don't know exactly like where that is yet. But there will be an update on Lowtown tomorrow that will have shipping update information and all that, because we're wanting to get that out before we want to get that all out before we hit the long weekend. We'll be buying more Stairway to Violences. Oh, yes. Is Underdoom Stairway to Violence in next week's restock, or is that's the one that's coming in February? That's right. It's like the Underdoom Stairway to Violence. I think it's the Underdoom LED wall. What questions are there? 2025? Okay, yeah. Yeah, Underdoom Stairway to Violence. There's a lot of good stuff in the February restock. Battle board. The full I believe it's all going to be, I believe even the plain one is also UV printed, which lets us keep the price down. I believe it's still being UV printed, but the full plan with the battle boards is also going to be in the update tomorrow. What I will say is, I know a lot of people were not happy with the paint change. We looked at it; that made a lot of sense, and so the battle boards that everybody's going to be getting shipped, if they got those cobblestone battle boards, will be the plain version. So at least know that there is a more detailed plan with that. They're going to go over all of it in the update tomorrow. I don't want to get into it now because I might get some of it wrong. But the big picture thing is, if you got those battle boards because you were wanting to have like plain cobblestone ground cover for Ambush Alley or for any of that stuff, it is going to be the plain version and not the one with the decorative pattern on it. But I think the plan that they wound up landing on is cool, and I think you're all going to be very happy with it. Uh, I just don't want to get into specifics because I don't want to get something wrong. So, yeah. New sewer bundles, any idea when these might drop? I want to make a number of bundles for the end of the year that I really want to work on because uh, we're trying to do a cool little holiday. We want to do like a bigger holiday store event than we've usually done. Mace has been working really hard on that. I'm trying to contribute by designing some bundles for it. So if they don't come out before then, I would try to at least do a sewer bundle for the holidays, I think. If it was going out tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow you should have a lot of low 10 info. The update, I know Todd has been working on it. That should be out tomorrow. Let's see. So the restock. We talked about Lowtown. Starforged. Starforged production is going very well. Possibly the smoothest we've ever had, which is very nice. We've really been working on kind of updating the workflow and just changing the way that, just trying to like make ourselves more efficient. And I think it's really paying off with Starforged so far. A ton of work was done ahead of time that we never had done before in a campaign. Some of it is the scale of the project. Some of it is the fact that we were working digitally this time. But I think a lot of it is just we're really trying to shift into a multiple small projects a year thing instead of a massive project every year and a half or 2 years. And we're starting to really see the benefits of it with Starforged. There's obviously still a lot of time for something to go wrong, potentially. But currently, it's going ridiculously well. So, Starforged, looking good. Dungeons Reforged, currently targeting mid-October. That's all still going well. I don't have anything new to show you, especially. We've been updating the GameFound page with pictures as they've been coming up. And so that's happening. If anybody has any questions about that, feel free to ask. I'll tell you what I can. There just is like a somewhat limited amount. I just wanted to address whatever questions I could because I know we've been gone for a while. The other big thing is we did wrap up the build contest as well. The Great Dwarven Build Off went very well. I'm going to post a link to the page with the results in it there. If you won, you should have gotten an email with your gift card prize by this point. I'm hoping. So go ahead and check those out. I think I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I think that page will link to the winner. Does that page link to the winners? Hang on a second. Yes, perfect. Okay. It was fun. It went a lot better. We got about twice as many submissions as we were expecting from the build off, which made Marvin's job a lot harder. But he really pushed through and kind of got the whole thing done. He more or less ran that whole thing himself. Letitia and Luke helped out on the web end. I gave some advice here and there, but that was largely Marvin just kind of taking all that on because we were wanting to do more community initiatives. People seemed really happy with it, so he's already thinking about like how we can do another one of those and thinking about some other things we can do. Yeah, that all seemed really good. Okay, let me look through all this and see if there's any questions. Can we get a compatibility build with the new Dungeons Reforged Digger and Light Pub pieces? You probably mean Fogger. In Colts Flortal. Probably at some point. I don't know if they can... Actually, yeah, they should be able to fit in there, right? They got a round bottom. I would be surprised if that didn't happen during the campaign. It seems like kind of a no-brainer. I'll bring that up to him and see if we could do that because yeah, that seems like a good thing to do. Halfling and Dwarf had a good adventure through the build challenge. It was very funny because I didn't. It was fun to see people post. I was keeping an eye on like the builds when people posted them in the Discord afterwards, and it was really funny to see just all the in jokes you guys were doing that we weren't aware of. Reforged stuff, especially the new paint scheme, looked amazing at Gen Con. Yes, the Sinister stuff looks extremely good. Anyone else getting messages about the Starforge caches, even though you've made selections? Oh, is your cache selection not through? Um, make sure that you've submitted. If you did like make your cache selections, make sure that you hit submit pledge afterwards, because it's very possible that you kind of made your selections, but um, it's very possible that you've like made your selections, but GameFound is still just looking at it as an unsubmitted, like edited order. So if you submit it, yeah, there we go, Hobby Hypo. That would be a very easy step to miss. So I'm assuming that's probably what happened. If you have gone in and selected things, you probably just need to submit it. Anyone from the team plan to be at PAX Unplugged this year? Yes, we are planning to do a full unplugged presence like last year. So I could be wrong. I know we were talking about wanting to get a bigger booth at Unplugged than we had last year. I don't know if that ended up happening or not, but we are going to be there. Yes. ODW, you're going? Nice. I like Unplugged a lot. I'm very excited for that one. Hope more can come over and see us in the UK next year. I know we're planning to at least have as much of a presence as we had this year. I don't know if we're planning to expand it next year or not. That's more of a May's question. She also just might not know yet. Yeah. Planning on being unplugged for all 3 days and not skipping out on Sunday. Nice. Right, Unplugged's only a 3-day con, huh? It always like trips me up that like cons don't always have the same rules. There was one was it West last year? I went to a con last year that was a 4-day con, but it was Friday through Monday instead of Thursday through Sunday, and it really threw me off. Let's see. Are there any other questions? Any other pressing things that people have that haven't addressed? Let's see. They'll be at a booth too. Oh, are you going to be demoing the tables, or is it for something else? What other things do we have? Let's see. I still got a few minutes before I should really head out. Happy you're all doing things okay and things are progressing. Yes. So I was just talking to Nate about it. We really want to, when things slow down for him, we really want to do a kind of future plans stream where we just kind of go over what the roadmap is looking like, basically. We are doing a lot of stuff right now that we're not ready to tell you about yet, basically. And at a certain point, we're gonna want to tell everybody. We are trying really hard to reshape our entire way of existing, more or less, into, like I said earlier, we're trying to move into having more frequent projects, like smaller projects that kind of lead into each other in a sensible way. Because reality is like one big issue with doing like the massive campaigns, especially as our pieces get more complex and as we do more ambitious things with them, when you've got like 200 pieces in a project, that's 200 different things that could have an issue that then holds up the other 199 pieces, you know? If Lowtown had been done in like 4 parts, if we had done like all the wood as one part, if we had done the cobblestone as one part or something, we would be able to focus on like smaller bits at a time, and we could ship out like those 50 pieces when those were all ready or something, and then you move on to the next like project and all that. So we're trying to move into that kind of model just so that we can deliver things faster, and I think it'll be easier for everybody in the long run. I think it's going to be easier on our team to be able to focus on a smaller collection at a time. I think it'll be easier on you guys for it to be like, like the Starforged, you could get everything in Starforged for, God, I think we didn't have like an all-in pledge, but like the large bundle was getting more than enough of everything. Like like for getting everything in Starforge was so much cheaper, even though those are some of the most expensive pieces individually we had made. The fact that it was a smaller project, I think very few people didn't get everything they kind of wanted out of Starforged. So moving into doing those smaller projects on a more regular basis is just kind of what we're getting to. So we've been doing a lot of work on the back end, because you know what that entails is okay. So we need to know what all those projects are going to be. You know, we need to figure out what each of those projects, if we're doing multiple a year, we need to know what this roadmap looks like, and we need to figure out the timing on all those things. So it's been a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and we're going to tell you all about it once we are ready. Any news on where Colt is? We're going to have a big update tomorrow. Uh, how's the board game? The board game is also something we're going to have to talk about at some point. A lot is we don't really know. You know, we don't really know what to expect board game wise currently. It's something that we will talk about in the future. Let's see. Got basically every sculpt with low but reasonable numbers unpainted for about $600. Also, I mean, the fact that you can do stretch pay on GameFAQ, like we're moving into stretch pay as well, is just very helpful for us. I think breaking up Low 10 into 4 campaigns would have made me buy less. I'm not sure I would have bought ground cover without seeing it all together. That's also true. So it becomes a question, like, it becomes a question of how do you sell it? I think if you're doing those smaller projects, it would be a lot of kind of showing things together, right? We'd be leaning a lot more into the compatibility. It'd be like, you get this system, here's how it combines with all the other systems that we have in our web store. That whole deal. I guess Terminus Starforge was popular enough to do a release or new sets yearly. Yearly is a bit of a stretch, I think. The biggest thing is I think we're not super clear on what the next sci-fi project would be. And I think we would need to have a firmer idea on that before we could set a timeline for that. That would take its own. Oh. A gel just fell off that light. That's probably fine. Stretch pay for Colt would have been insane. Easily would have gotten a couple grand more out of me. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, could you imagine if we had... Yeah, I don't know. Stretch pay, particularly for our product, stretch pay has been incredibly useful. So, it can be tougher to envision a grand scheme of smaller projects. Possibly. It's possible. We just need to rethink how we show it to people, how we market, you know? But you know, when you look at Lowtown, like, or when you look at Wildlands, when you look at Lowtown, both of those, from when we started working on them to when they got delivered, we're talking about like pushing 4 years, I think, on both of those, in terms of like when we decided that was like the next project and started working on it to then when it actually got to people. That's a lot. So I don't know. Have in the past asked if it was possible for a game pound type thing for restocking difficult items to get restocked because of demand. Not sure if this has changed. So game found, I don't think we would use game found for just a straight restock. I think we would want it to be something a bit larger than that. What we've been doing in the Reforge campaigns, I think, are kind of what we can do with that platform. Otherwise, I think we would just order to restock to store. Doing the smaller project makes me think having add-ons that are a restock of a few existing sets makes a lot more sense. That's true. So that's another thing, is if we do these smaller projects, if we produce the ground cover in one thing, if we had done the cobblestone first or something in Lowtown, we could do like a reprint of them in the next campaign or something. You know, like we've got that stuff delivered. By the time we are then like doing some of the stuff that would go on it, we can include relevant products like in the campaign as well. And do reprints. And if we're doing a smaller campaign, that makes it way easier to do that. When it's a campaign that already has 200 new pieces, adding reprints of existing pieces is much less feasible than if we're talking about like 50 new pieces. It's way easier to fit it in then. Everybody's saying stretch pay is good. Stone Sand would be a great biome for fantasy and sci-fi, which could just be 2 different paint jobs of the same pieces. I mean, they're kind of the base layers that we're missing, right? in terms of doing in terms of like being a thing that we just don't have a solution for yet. That's a good point. Maybe big spenders spend less, but also possible lower spenders spend more since they don't have to stretch their budget across 9,999 pieces. I think there's a lot of. We really want to change our perception from, as much as possible, uh, being a company where you need to drop like $3,000 to be able to do anything. I think that can turn people away when they feel like they can't get their money's worth, that like they don't have enough money to get anything valuable out of the project. And I think when you've got something the scale of Wildlands or Lowtown, you're probably talking about a lot more people who come into the project and see it and think that they just don't make enough to get something out of it. Even though really just getting like a couple scatter sets for of wilderness stuff, you could do that with like a mat and you get value out of that, you know? So a lot of it is just messaging as well. A lot of it is just figuring out how to talk to people, how to show it. Do you feel like there's anything you haven't explored that you'd really like to in the future as far as environments go? Yeah. There's a number of things. There's some very basic things like Devidence was saying about sand and snow. There's some specific things people have brought up wanting to do jungles. People have brought up doing kind of different architecture for buildings, doing specifically dwarven, specifically elven. People have brought up things like mine shafts, catacombs in Dwarvenite. Like there's a lot of stuff we could do. Uh, yeah, just good flexibility for niche projects too, like sand dunes, jungle, etc. I think if we're talking about smaller, more controlled projects, I think it does make it easier to do those things that are maybe more niche. It takes the pressure off of every project needing to be like a massive, like $4 million campaign. Uh, let's see. Example I always quote is that at one point Hellscape was going to be part of Caverns Deep. I understand. I wouldn't buy any Hellscape if it was part of the big campaign, like I did buy in when it's separate. Yeah, Hellscape was cut from Caverns Deep and then expanded into its own Kickstarter afterwards. Because here's another thing. This is another thing that happens with a lot of our campaigns is Hellscape would have been. I need to think of a word real quick. Hang on a second. I need to do this giveaway like now. And then I'm gonna get out of here in 5 minutes. So let's do the word for the giveaway. Let's do. Oh, what's a good word? Let's do pocket. Let's just do pocket because it's a pocket episode. Pocket edition. Yeah. Okay, so one chance to win $50. It's a $50 gift card. Yeah. Type pocket into chat. I will roll it in a couple minutes. Let's see. So Hellscape, if it had been in Caverns Deep, would have had way less sculpts and wouldn't have been as fleshed out. Burrows wasn't super fleshed out. Sewers wasn't fully fleshed out. When we try to do like a ton of systems in one thing, especially when we're trying to do things that are kind of technically different biomes in one large project, something usually ends up getting shortchanged. If we're doing more frequent but more focused campaigns, I think it's less likely that something ends up not really getting thought through. Usually a $500 gift card. Yeah, all right. Called it so many new systems, wanting to get them first and not fight the store is a big driver for many people's pledges. Having seen new people to Dwarven Forge, so many people don't realize the pieces are as modular as they are. It's hard to really. So when you see it getting used on Critical Role and such, that's definitely good advertising, but it doesn't really show you. And I guess they have started posting videos of Matt kind of building the maps, but I do think seeing somebody using it like in game like that, where it's already a finished thing, isn't really selling you on the modularity as much because you're not seeing them take it apart and put it together. I think it would be very cool if he live streamed building those maps and was talking to the audience like during it and everything. But I completely understand why he's not doing that. Let's see. Getting in front of them is a big thing to selling, is useful to people. Oh, yeah. Getting in front of people. There is one more news item I forgot that I wanted to mention. We are working on an affiliate. I've been working on an affiliate store program, basically. We're going to be launching it on the. We're going to be putting a page up on the website soon where we're going to list all the stores that you can go and like see Dwarven Forge at. They'll use it in events. You can go demo it there. Some stores you can like rent it to use in a game and all that. We're hoping that'll be a way to kind of get it in people's hands. so we've got like 4 stores that we're starting off with right now. I'm talking to a couple others to like get them set up. We've got 2 stores in Brooklyn just because they were easy. We already knew people there. We've got a store in Minnesota. And we got a store in Indianapolis that we're starting with. I'm talking to a couple others. I'm trying to pluck stores from different states. We're sticking with the U.S. for now, but then I will try to establish some overseas as well. Um, Minnesota, yeah, it's Bad Wolf Adventures in Minnesota. They reached out to us, uh, and they seem like they have a really cool operation going. Thanks for doing the stream for us tonight. Yeah, no problem. It's I want to make sure we did something. Let's see. Some people were shocked that we could take things apart. Genuinely, the best thing we can do is get people to really try it. Also, one an indie called Elfin Moon. That's that's who we. So Elfin Moon is one of the stores that we're working with. And then Bad Wolf Adventures in Minnesota. Will partner stores be selling sets? Currently, it's not going to be retail. Retail is like a whole other can of worms. Basically, what we're doing is giving them collections that they can use to run events. They can have people rent it out in their store. Basically, just stuff to make their store more appealing to people in exchange for getting promotion. That's kind of like what we're starting with. We are talking about potentially kind of moving it in a retail direction eventually, but that's setting up a whole bunch of other things that we would have to figure out. So currently it's not retail, but we're trying to just kind of get in these stores, help them run really cool events for people, and provide resources so that they can just run better stores with cool events, and we'll help promote them and shout out when stuff's happening. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, let's roll this giveaway, and then I'm gonna get out of here. IME. Okay. Hell yeah. All right. IME 202. I'm gonna whisper you real quick just to get your email. Okay, actually, I already have your email, so I will just get that sorted out, and we'll be good. More market retail, folks might get turned off. It's a whole, yeah, figuring out retail is just a whole other thing, and it would take a lot longer to set things up if we had to also work out retail. So we're just starting with this stuff. We're just starting with the fun part, and then we'll hopefully move into retail after. Okay. Ever needs a packaging copywriter? I will let you know. We'd have to change a lot, like the biggest thing for retail is our boxes do not look good on shelves. That's the biggest thing. So, and to come up with packaging for all the different sets we do, we could maybe pick a few select products to do better retail packaging for, but to do it for every one of our sets, the scope of our the scope of our product would just be very rough to do that with. But what are you gonna do? Okay, I think that's everything. I will be keeping an eye on Discord as always. So if you have any questions about anything, you can hit me up on there, and hopefully this information was helpful. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Thank you for hanging out for a little bit. All right. Good night, everybody.